Hello, Atlanta. We're so excited to be here. Literally, we just got off, both of us just got off planes to see you. And I got to tell you something. I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Fix to give me something to eat as soon as I leave here.
Man, we'll follow you.
All right.
How important was it to you to document the generational gap, and why do you think that's relevant today?
You know, the movie, I didn't make a movie about I wasn't trying to make this important civil rights movie. What I was making, all my movies have to come from the heart and come from a place of what I understand. And so what I related to most was the father and son story. You know, because, and it's really, it transcends race, because everybody knows that father and son story. When I got the script, my son was 13 years old, and he was changing on me. You know, I say white, he say black. I say day, he say night. I say go to bed, he say hell no. And I didn't understand when it was going to stop. And so I think that what I responded most to the film was that it was a father and son love story that was beautiful. We don't see with black families. You know, we don't see that kind of love in cinema today. But when I knew that we were onto something bigger was when we were doing the bus scene where we were on that bus and I was in the bus with the kids, and I yelled action, and from nowhere comes all these KKK people with the hoods and the swastikas and the crosses, and the bus is shaking, and we're getting scared inside the bus. You know, the actors are, and I'm with them. And I yell, cut! And then I go to the window, and they keep going. I go, cut! And then I'm screaming, cut! And they wouldn't stop because they couldn't hear me. And then I realized that there was nobody there for those kids to yell cut. That these kids were heroes. That they were fighting to save the soul of our country, and that, oh Lord, this is bigger than just a father-son story.
Okay.
My question is actually for Mr. Whitaker. The question I have for you, I know that you also served as a producer for Fruitvale Station, and you did a phenomenal job in this movie. How difficult was it to play the role of Cecil Gaines when showing his innocence as effortlessly as you did, but at the same time, subjectively speaking, not feeling hurt by the things that have been taking place, even currently within our society, when you consider Trayvon Martin and everything going on?
Okay, I think he was affected by everything. Or what I was trying to do, as we move through the film, is all those experiences, all those things, even from the death of his father. And when he was a child, he said to his dad, "What are you going to do?" Basically, and the outcome came. That memory right there rested in him for the rest of his life. And it was recurring for him to try to be able to protect his own son. And every time he would go through these different experiences, because when I was working on the role, I would look at the history that was going on alongside, even the stuff that wasn't in the movie that would have affected me, as you say, as like the Trayvon Martin situation affected you and affected so many, the feelings and the different things, Oscar Grant, all these different things, were affecting this character. And then the things that are inside of the script, all the moments that Lee highlighted and touched. And I started to put those things, those experiences, as we do. We don't even realize we carry them inside of my body. That's really the aging process that I went through even to age this character, was to take the experiences and in the film and around and place them in different parts of my body. And slowly, as I got older and older and older, the weight of those experiences, the weight of those different things that I've seen and felt and touched, slowly transformed my body. So what you're seeing at the time when I'm 90-something years old is the breadth of the experience of his emotions, of the impact of the experiences in his life displayed on him, on Cecil. And that's what I was trying to bring. So that when Lee shot me in my face, you would even feel that weight, hopefully, in my eyes. and inside of my body from all the experiences that this wonderful director here was able to capture in the film, and I was able to try to serve.
All right.
Hi, good evening. My name is Shanti Das, 20-year music industry veteran, and I just want to say kudos to both of you guys. This film is so important on so many levels, and with us coming up on the 50th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech, were you guys strategically deciding to release this movie, and were you inspired to do it around the anniversary? And I just want to say this is a film that all young kids need to see because there's something lost in the African American community. I know that working in entertainment, and this film is so major, and I just really want to help put the message out there and spread it to all the youth.
Before we go any further, do we have any pastors and ministers in the house tonight? With all the pastors and ministers, please stand just for a moment so we give you a round of applause. Let's hear for all the pastors and ministers and join tonight. We'd like to also give back to tell the congregation about this outstanding film and invite them to see it when it opens. Can we do that? All right, I thought we could. Okay, another question? Okay.
I don't think I answered her.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we answer her?
Okay.
When we wrote those words, any black man could kill any white man and get away with it. The law wasn't on our side. The law was against us. That was before Trayvon Martin was even, that was before we did it, before Trayvon Martin's case even came up. So, before he was killed. And so, and then the thing with Johnson, and when he passed the Voting Rights Act, that bill that was historic, that was just as important, almost as important as freeing the slaves. That we didn't know. I didn't know when I finished the movie that that the Supreme Court would make that decision that they did, so that your grandmother, my grandmother, if she ain't got an ID, some white man can tell her, no, you can't go vote. That I'm having this conversation here with you right now as a movie.
It still shows the sort of cycle that we're still trying to bring them in the movie. This young man is sparked by Emmett Till, the death of Emmett Till, the murder of Emmett Till, and his mother was trying to bring that up to the public so they can hear it. And that was what prompted him, and then, as you say, that this Voting Rights Act, so it's trying to just remind us that we have to find our ways to break these cycles and move forward in whatever way we can, whether it's as my character does, and by his presence and moving things forward and changing my son. So it's something very, very special because I think you looped into something, the cycles that we're still trying to progress so that we become all that we can be, free and full of life and full of joy of the life we're offering.
Have a question?
First of all, to Mr. Whitaker, I want to commend you for not only for your performance here, which was amazing, but also the role you played in producing Fruitvale Station, which is an equally incredible film, and I urge everyone to see that. Neither of you can answer this. How long did it take you to get the historical information for the film? It was obviously extensive. And secondly, where would you point us to learn more of the background of which the real characters are based?
Okay. It was based on a new. Wow, I forgot this guy. Sorry about that. Okay, man. The film was based on a Washington Post article that Will Haygood wrote about a Butler that served in the White House. And so what we did was we wrote a script. Danny Strong wrote a script based on his Butler's life, and he served 8 presidents. And so most of it is true. What isn't true in the stories is that the Gloria character was an alcoholic and that she possibly had an affair with Terrence Howard, possibly. That's not true. She didn't have another son, but what is true is all of his encounters with the president you know, I try to show the different sides of the presidents, the good and the bad sides of, you know, that Ronald Reagan did give money to, you know, poor black people, but at the same time he was anti-apartheid. And at the same time, he questioned his political beliefs. And then Nancy Reagan did, in fact, invite them to the White House, Glory to the White House, and Cecil to the White House. That Johnson did, in fact, give him a tie clip, and that Kennedy did give him a tie. Kennedy's wife gave him a tie. So we interwove, as most movies do, you know, the truth with a little bit of fiction.
Question down front.
Hi, Mr. Daniels and Mr. Whitaker. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to know, what was the most difficult part for you both in making this movie? And then the second part is, what would you like for the audience to take away from this experience, from watching this movie? How can we move forward with this conversation in our community?
There was some certain technical things that were difficult for me, actually, because we didn't have a lot of funds to make the movie. The shooting schedule was very loaded, you know. So at times I might have to pay 3 different agents in the same day. So as a result, sometimes I would end up working like 20 hours a day, quite often 18 hours a day. So there was just a physical, you know, just the time of trying to be specific enough and never lose myself, so that I knew where I was if I was 90 or if I was 45 or if I was 30, whatever. I was trying to do that. The movie, for me, was about healing, about love in the family. You know, it was about a family reconciling, a family through all the problems and difficulties and issues, being able to heal them so that they can love each other. In that sense, it kept the same sort of story in a way, with my son who's dealing with, I guess, the father of the nation, too, and the Civil Rights Act, trying to find a way for it to heal in some way, trying to allow it to let them have a good quality of life. And that's all that my character wanted for our family, and that's what developed us, was the love and the help for each other, was the foundation that kept us together. And hopefully we can find that space inside of what we're doing in the country. And even my son was doing what I was trying to do quietly, that level permeating, we're going to pass by some of these problems, but we do have to address them. That was sort of some of the thematic. I know you had a number of things. Please look at it. He always does that.
All right. No, because I learn something different from Forrest every time we have these types of discussions, you know. For me, you know, I'm going to surprise him with a new answer. That the most difficult, what is the best part about this film, for me, I don't look at the film, my films are films, you know, they end up being what they are. But what happens to me as a man as I grow and learn from the experience that I had was a sense of humility. Because Mr. Whitaker brings a sense of humility to the set. You know, as a black man, I'm very angry. I get angry at the way we as African American men have been treated. It's hard to keep that. It's hard not to be angry. It's hard not to know that if I were Steven Spielberg, that I would have $70 million, maybe $80 million to this movie. So I carry that anger with me, and so onto the set. You know what I mean? Because we got to hit it and quit it. We don't have time. We don't have the luxury to have big trailers and opulent, food. And you know, I got Oprah Winfrey on the set. I got Forest Whitaker on the set. I got James Bond, all these fancy, movie stars, and I'm angry. You know, because if it were anybody else, they would be treated. You know, we have the funds to treat them a certain way, and I think that. And so, with Mr. Whitaker, he is a man of humility. And so what he taught me, what I learned from not only the Butler, but from him, was a sense of humility and a sense of it's okay, and not to hold that anger in, because it ain't going to do nothing but cause you stress and kill you. And that was the beauty. That was so the most difficult thing for me was not the scenes, because the scenes are always the scenes. I'm trying to tell the truth, and everything that I do and everything that's on that screen is the truth. But the most difficult thing was the totality of trying to stay to keep the anger and hostility away and to learn to be humble, which was something that I learned from my star here. All right.
My question is for Mr. Whitaker. Did you get to spend time with Lee Daniels? And there's a part in the movie where that parallels a lot of black families where sons and fathers fight and brothers fight, and it carries on for a long time. Did he tell you there was a point where vision came when he was able to look past what he was seeing to what his son was seeing? And when Mr. Daniels, did he tell you that it was an epiphany that he may have had when he realized what his son was doing, and that his son was a hero, has always been a hero, and that in that moment of recognition, he brought healing to his family? Did he speak on that, or was that all from you?
No, I think he spoke about it from the beginning, because Lee, with Danny Strong, wrote the script, and I think inside of that story, it was a slow process of an awakening from both of us, an awakening for myself to see and be able to appreciate my son, for all that he was doing. And I think my son slowly on his side started to appreciate, the sacrifices and the things that I had done.
Yes.
And it was through slow mutual appreciation, which was written in the script, because and that slow appreciation brought us together, which is so fun. And we find as we get older, sometimes we start to say, my dad worked 3 jobs. When I was a kid, he moved from Texas, he moved to Los Angeles, he worked 3 jobs. And I never saw him until on the weekends maybe, and he was always tired. And I was, but then my dad gave me a life that he wasn't promised in the place where he came from. You know what I mean? It's a much different life.
Yeah.
And so that appreciation is what we found reflected in the script that he developed.
Yes, and I just want to also say that simplicity and obviousness is the most godlike thing, because everything of God is so simple and obvious, and your talent is so simple and obvious. It brings the spirit out of the screen into my heart, and I just want to let you know that.
All right. Do we have another question?